Now we're recording. And in addition, if you want to use closed captioning, you have that option. Just use it on your screen and you can follow along that way. So we really recommend that if you're interested in that. Oh, great. I see a participant has already enabled closed captioning. And let us begin. We are doing a demonstration on HeinOnline in the context of two collections. In particular, one is immigration, and another collection that we're also going to talk about towards the end is on slavery. So let's go on with this. You may have attended various webinars with us in the past. We do various monthly webinars. I am Steve Roses on the left. We have Tim Hoagie, the Senior Director of Sales, in the middle. You may have seen him on various webinars. And we have Roxanne Marmion with us. She's a sales professional, and she is on the right. She is also—
Hello, everybody.
Yes, she's going to be getting your questions, your chat questions, or if you send it as a question, she'll be answering that way as well. So some of the things we'd like to cover in this demonstration, provide a brief introduction to HeinOnline. So many of you are subscribers to HeinOnline. Some of you have never even had a trial to HeinOnline. Some of you just get a few things on HeinOnline, and most of you have our core collection. So I just wanted to give you a brief introduction to HeinOnline. Many of you know us through our journal library. Our journal library now has over 3,000 journals. Every journal on HeinOnline is full text and goes all the way back to issue number 1, which could mean if a journal started in 1898, it's going to go all the way back. In addition, we have the current content, so we go all the way back and to current. Now, in addition to that, we also have books. In fact, our legal classics collection has over 19,000 monographs and treatises. Just wanted you to be aware of that. We have many, many ebooks, and all of this is growing every single month, increasing our journals, increasing our ebooks, and also increasing our case law, which we have in HeinOnline, as well as government documents of various types. What types of government documents? Things like the Congressional Record, the Federal Register, the U.S. Congressional Serial Set, and it goes on and on. So we'll be covering some of that as well, but in the context of the immigration collection, which is an add-on collection. So if you subscribe to the core but don't get the immigration collection, you might want to have a trial of the immigration collection, which we'll be talking about. And then we also want you to know about our social justice suite, which are 5 different free databases. If you get the core collection, then the core package, then you know about these. But even if you don't get any part of HeinOnline, you can register for the social justice suite and 5 databases, but I'll be talking about that as well. So we're going to look at the featured databases, immigration, as well as slavery in America and the world. We're going to take some questions and answers, which we told you, Roxanne is going to be following that and answering your questions. Now on to immigration. Now, immigration, some of you probably already subscribed to immigration. You may have added it to your HeinOnline subscription. Some of you who, of course, don't get anything on HeinOnline, then you may never have seen this before. But we added this a la carte collection to as an option for HeinOnline a few years back. It now has more than 4,000 titles and 1.5 pages of comprehensive immigration materials. And what is that immigration content? What does it contain? Well, as with other parts of other collections in HeinOnline, we have legislative histories. Why are legislative histories so important in an immigration context? Because we want you to know the legislative intent. What was Congress trying to achieve when they were passing a given piece of immigration legislation? Then we also add in here, in this a la carte collection, Board of Immigration Appeals precedents. Why is this important? We want you to really have an understanding of the current law of immigration in all its aspects. And so the immigration appeals precedents, those decisions cover a vast amount of different areas of immigration law. So you're going to want to look at the decisions and the index to find those decisions. Then we have various government reports dealing with the topic of immigration. And for years, we've had questions on extradition, both people who want to research the United States, extradition with other countries, and other countries' extradition with the United States. Because as you know, these are agreements, complex agreements between nations. And so we have this whole extradition part of this immigration and law and policy in the US. Then you're going to want the relevant parts of the Federal Register and the Code of Federal Regulations. In the case of the Code of Federal Regulations, we're talking about Title VIII. That's the part of federal regulations that deals specifically with aliens and nationality. You're going to want the Title VIII of the US Code as well. And then we keep adding much more in the immigration databases. Now, we want you to know that you're welcome to have a trial of the immigration collection if you've never had a trial. You also, if you're ready to order it, as long as you order before April 30th, you can take advantage of a special 15% discount off your first year subscription to immigration law and policy in the US. So there is sort of an opportunity for you really to look at things at an even more affordable price. But certainly take us up on the trial. And if you'd like to have a trial, and we'll email you our email addresses, but mine is sroses@wshein.com, and Roxanne is rmarmian@wshein.com, and we'll be providing those email addresses as well. Okay, now the 5 databases relating to human rights and social justice in what we call the Social Justice Suite, they're completely free. Now, when I say completely free, do you think that means just temporarily free? No, this is perpetually free. All 5 of these collections will always be free. We started with the Slavery in America and the World collection. This is an award-winning database with nearly 2,200 titles and 1.2 million pages. After that, we added the gun regulation and legislation in America. This is so that you can track the issue of gun regulation and legislation in America, which is always changing and always responding to different political events, or not responding to certain political events as well. So we want you to check that out. The other free database that is fairly recent, the LGBTQ+ rights database, it has a very unique outline that allows you to follow all the key historical events in the US LGBTQ+ movement. So that in itself is very valuable in seeing all the major events in that through the timeline. So check that out. Of course, you can do searches, lots of books, lots of periodicals in that. And because it's very important for you to understand not only the situation with enslaved peoples going back when slavery was still in force, but also to follow civil rights and social justice, to follow how things like Jim Crow has evolved in the United States, how civil rights movement came about in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and to follow that. And that's why we have the civil rights and social justice. This also deals with concepts like the Great Migration. So it's really, if you're looking to research Black history during Black History Month, we really recommend you look at the Slavery in America and the World database, but also the Civil Rights and Social Justice database, both which are free that you can register for if you get the free Social Justice Suite. Okay, now we want you to take a look at immigration and slavery through the LibGuides. Now we have free LibGuides to almost every collection on HeinOnline. So if you're in HeinOnline, pretty much every collection or every major collection is going to have a LibGuide, a free LibGuide, which you're welcome to use and put on your website. It's going to give you tips and tricks. It's going to give you bibliographies. In many situations, it gives you videos, YouTube videos that you can look at, and they're short and right to the point YouTube videos. We also have recommended ways to find things that you're looking for, all in the LibGuides, but I'll show you where to find those and just be aware of that. So we also, for those of you who have never had a trial of HeinOnline, first of all, you should know HeinOnline is multidisciplinary. So it's not only going to cover law, sure, that's a huge factor, but it's going to cover law, politics, any issue that's legally tangential to the law. So that could mean history, that can mean gender studies, that could mean religious studies, etc. That's why HeinOnline is so valuable. And you can get free trial for 6 months at no obligation, campus-wide access and remote access. Just let us know if you want the 6-month free trial if you've never had a trial, and we can give you set it up on IP and proxy authentication. This will give you access to more than 30 academic databases, and you can live chat us whenever you need to from 8:30 to 6 That's Monday through Friday Eastern time, or when live chat is not set up, you can also email any of us. We have free training resources and much more. We're also available at this 800 number. We welcome you to email us at marketing@wshein.com, or you can see our website, home.heinonline.org. Also, just to remind you, we're on all sorts of social media. What social media? Well, everything from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and it goes on and on. Just be aware that we are on social media. Now I'm going to stop this share briefly, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to log on to HeinOnline. So first I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to do a new share. I'm going to go here and share that. And ooh, my controls are stuck. I should have checked that. Let's see if we can close this. And I'm going to, oh, there we are. Okay, now everyone can see my screen. We're going to go just to Chrome. This is to show you how easy it is. We're going to go here to HeinOnline.org, which is, by the way, where the HeinOnline website is. And we're going to log in. Now, as soon as we log in, we're going to see multiple collections that are part of what we call this is a specific type of core collection. In this case, it's the HeinOnline Academic Collection. And we also are going to have access to the Social Justice Suite collections we talked about, as well as the Immigration Collection. So when I was talking about the Immigration Collection, if we want to see it, if we want to see what's in a collection, you just click on the I next to a collection, and all of a sudden you get a description. So the Immigration Collection, as I mentioned, it's going to include BIA precedent decisions, legislative histories, law and policy titles, extradition titles, scholarly articles, and more. If you want to download the list of titles, you can go right here and download them as a text or a CSV file, save it as an Excel file, or you can see we have 1.5 million pages worth of material. And let's open this up just so you can take a look at it. Then I'll start doing some searching, because that's really what you're really, that's the crux of what you want to see from a demonstration like this. So I'm going to go in here. This shows you how all the different tabs. This is where you're going to go for BIA precedent decisions. This is where you're going to go for legislative histories. If you want GAO reports, you go here. If you want Congressional Research Service materials dealing specifically with certain immigration topics, you're going to go here. We have our LibGuide right at your beck and call, whatever you want it, right here. There's also other places where you can get the LibGuide. Scholarly articles, which we've curated for you, are here, and the relevant section of CFR, et cetera. So it's all organized how you want to do research. Now, that's realistically, once you have the immigration law collection, you're going to want to not just research in the immigration law collection, you're going to want to research the topic of immigration in all the HeinOnline collections that you have access to, because that way you can be more comprehensive. So if we wanted to collect research in all the HeinOnline collections, let's say in the core package, then you would go into here. Now we're researching all of them. You can notice that it says we're searching in all databases. And let's say we wanted to search a topic like forced migration. Now we're looking at forced migration. Notice here we have the option of searching that by author, title, citation, even searching through MARC records to find additional titles that are in our catalog. So you could search forced migration that way. But here I'm just going to search by text, and I'm going to do a search, and then I can use the facets on my left to limit either the specific collections I want to look at, the specific type of subject matter I want to look at, specific places that might be named, individuals. There are many different facets to zero in what you're looking for. So we'll just wait for this to load. And there it is. We have 6,772 results, which you'll agree are a lot of results. Now, when we want to look at these results, we can put them in different orders. Relevance is always a dependable way to go. We want to see what's relevant to the concept of forced migration. But we also might want to see just the oldest first, the newest first, or even zero in on the relevant articles, specifically by the number of times those articles have been cited on HeinOnline. But for now, let's keep it on relevance. So it's on relevance here. Now, you're probably wondering what these things, this is the list of articles, but you're probably wondering what this is on the right. This is called Scholar Check. So see this on the right? So here's an article, Forced Migration and Security, dealing with this topic in immigration. Not only does it deal with immigration, by the way, but because we're looking at various Pathfinder concepts, we also notice it's dealing with international law, refugees, foreign affairs, immigration, security interests, and securities. It's been cited by another article. If we want to go to the full text of that other article, we just click there and it'll take you to the full text. If we want to notice how often this has been cited in a rolling 12-month period on HeinOnline, you'll notice it's been accessed 20 different times. Okay, so let's say we decide that this is an especially interesting article, and it's from the International Journal of Refugee Law. Okay, now it's opening up. I just want to show you, because some of you have never used HeinOnline, some of you use it every day or more, if it's possible to. Some of you use it hourly, but some of you have never looked at HeinOnline, so you probably want to see some of the functionality. So here is where you would download a PDF of the section. Here's how you would print. You can email this document or any document you find on HeinOnline to another person who's on trial, to a total stranger, to someone at another institution. You name it, you can send them an article, and you could send it or a book or a government document. You can send it in a format of your choice. Yes, you could send it in the Blue Book format, but you could also opt to send it into Chicago format or MLA, APA, etc. So just be aware of that. Okay, now if you want a permalink, let's say you're using this in an academic setting and a faculty member wants to use this for a syllabus, you just click here. You do need to register. It's a free registration with us for this, and you can simply set up a URL and it'll work. If you register your proxy, your URL, your IPs with us, it will allow the permalinks to even work remotely. So just be aware of that. Whenever you see this, this is a great bookmarking tool. This is called MyHein. Every individual user that uses HeinOnline, from your institution or your firm or your corporation, any person can set up their own MyHein account. You just go up here to set a MyHein profile. It's just a bookmarking tool that allows you to save your queries, to get table of contents alerts, to organize your different results by subject, etc. So it's a really useful thing to give you even more value in HeinOnline. If you really like a specific result, let's say you find this really relevant, you don't even want to do another query search, you just want to find things that are similar to this, you might want to do a more like this search. And what a more like this search it does is it uses machine learning to pick the most interesting words, or what the algorithm feels are the most interesting words from a search. So notice it picked the word asylum, it picked the word refugees, it picked the word security, it picked the word international. I might like all these new results. They seem to be pretty darn good, but I could also tweak it. For example, the word security might be less important. The word asylum might be even more important. International might be even more important. And I could put another term in here of my choosing, and maybe I could put specific years. For example, I could put 1980 to 2023 if I wanted to limit it, as opposed to going all the way back in history. And so then you could search and limit things this way, or you could use the results that you get from here. Now I'm going to show you another kind of search, and that is an advanced search. Let's go back to, let's see, what's the best way to show this? I'll go into the Law Journal Library again, because that is one of our biggest collections. And like the immigration collection, it also has a ton of immigration materials, also has a ton of civil rights materials and slavery materials. And all of that is augmented by these other collections that are specifically in those areas. Okay, so Law Journal Library, as you know, when you're looking to use it, you can just click here and it'll tell you what's in here. Notice that we're up to 3,100 journals, but here we are in the Law Journal Library. And if we want to go back to the beginning, I want to show you this feature that's relatively new, called Pathfinder. Now, it looks like my connection is a little slow. I'm working remotely today, and I'm trying to get back to where I was, and my computer, my personal computer, happens to be a little slow. So if it doesn't get me to where I want to go soon, I'm going to switch into another area. But I do want to show you this path finding tool. So let's give it a few seconds. While I'm waiting for that, by the way, there's a citation tool. Now, let's say you find this article that we were just looking at it very relevant. You can cite, boom, you could go right here and get the specific site, a permanent site, to this document that you're looking for. In addition to that, we allow you to import to RefWorks, Zotero, Noodle Tools, also EndNote. So all of those bits of software, we work with that because we value working with a diverse level of software. Okay, let's skip on to the list of databases in here. Okay, I'm going to go right to the Law Journal Library again. By the way, each one of these collections is updated pretty much at least on a monthly basis. So the Law Journal Library, every month we're adding new collections, 2 or 3 new collections. Over a year period in our core collections, we're usually adding new free databases. And in addition, in databases like the Federal Register, we're updating that on a daily basis. But here we are. I want to show you the inside of the journal library. And here we have what we call Pathfinder subjects. And Pathfinder subjects is the way we've subject coded and categorized the various documents on HeinOnline. And here we have it sort of as a list. So whether you're researching applied sciences even, or humanities, or industries, or natural and forensic formal sciences, or social sciences, you're going to be able to find data that you need in HeinOnline because we truly are multidisciplinary. Now, there happens to be a specific designation for immigration studies. And if we open up immigration, we notice within there is a citizenship category, a deportation category, immigrants, immigration and employment, immigration law, and repatriation. And if we open this further, that will take us right into results dealing with those particular topics. But I'm going to take you into our graphical version of this. And this is useful for your visual learners that want to see the full lay of the land of HeinOnline and all the subjects. So here you'll notice this is where social sciences are. This is where applied sciences are. If you want to go straight and do a straight law search, that's going to be in humanities. But now I'm specifically looking in immigration. So I can click here. Now I'm looking at immigration, and this is where the different options are. If we want to look at deportation or repatriation or immigrants. So if I click on immigrants, it's going to instantly take us to results dealing with immigration. This is just another way that you can find things that you're looking at. In this case, the first result here in relevance was dealing with Israeli Arabs between the nation and the state. Notice this has been cited by one article and accessed 76 times. Now I'm going to take you to another advanced search because I wanted to show you that Pathfinder feature to zero in on subject matters. Another way you can search in advanced search, you can search. Notice we have a whole template for you. You can search by text, article, author, description, state, country, even DOI. We have proximity built in for you if you don't want to use any Boolean. Sure, you can do a Google type search. You don't even have to have proximity. But if you want to use proximity, we have this built in for you at your will. And then if you want to do a Venn diagram search. So let's do a Venn diagram search. This is a really useful search for those who want to find material on and see how sort of different terms relate to each other in HeinOnline. So I'm going to do a specific search. I'm going to put once again in forced migration, but I want to know how this term relates to the term civil war, because many times forced migration is a product or a response to civil war in a given country. And I'm going to also put in the term refugee, except I'm going to spell it refugee instead of regugee. Okay, so I have forced migration, civil war, and refugee. 3 terms. We could even do 4 terms, but let's do 3 terms. So we're going to search that. Notice I separated the different words by and. That's sort of the format that you use when you're doing a Venn diagram search. It is thinking. We'll give it a few more minutes. Okay, no, we gave it a few more seconds. There it is. So there are 1,155 results for the term civil war, forced migration, and refugee. That's this overlap here. Let's say we just wanted to see civil war. We have that, and we can put this in relevance order, or newest first, or oldest first, or most time cited. There are 126,000 results for civil war. Refugee, there are 72,000 results. Forced migration is a more specific term, and there are a lot, still 5,502 results, but only, and this is really what we want to work with, only 1,155 results. So there's a good chance that the results here are dead on with what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that is dealing with the whole concept of civil war nations where peoples are forced to migrate, and then in addition, become refugees later, or that's a possible status. So here's a whole book article on fear of persecution, forced migration, etc. So we have a lot of good results. That's just one of the ways to zero in. We don't have a huge amount of time, so I'm going to go right to our slavery database, one of the many, 5 free databases that you can get when you sign up for the Social Justice Suite. So let's just take a quick look at the slavery database. I want to remind you that we also have the free civil rights and social justice database to also look into African American history and to continue studying everything from the Great Migration to the civil rights movement. Okay, now I'm going to go into this slavery in America and the world. I just want you to look at it because we don't have a huge amount of time left. This is an invaluable award-winning collection. We digitized a lot of materials that had not been digitized before from various libraries throughout the country. It's still a project we're always welcome to add more and more things to it, but you have a whole introduction. You can browse all the titles. We have periodicals. If you're looking for slavery statutes, whether they were pro-slavery or abolitionist statutes, you can look them up. And not only that, but you can look them up by region. You have judicial cases specifically dealing with the concept of slavery, eventually freedom from slavery. You can look those things up here. Scholarly articles, some of them rare, some of them unbelievably on point. You can get those. We have a whole slew of UNC press publications, bibliographies, and once again, the all-important LibGuide. Let me show you that right here. And this is the specific LibGuide for the slavery database. There's also one for the civil rights and social justice database. So if you're thinking of that topic, just do not hesitate to sign up for that. Now we have a few more minutes. I want to show you, and I know we're taking chats and questions. Keep asking those questions because we still have a little bit more time to answer your questions. But this is your all-important help. So you can go to help to find things. Now, if you want to chat us, if you're in the US, from 8:30 to 6 Eastern time, or anywhere in North America that's within Eastern time, or anywhere that's within Eastern time, actually. 8:30 to 6 Eastern time, that's live chat us. So just consider that when you're in Pacific time, or if you're in Central time or Mountain time, then the live chat goes from 8:30 to 6. Okay, contact us. We're a very small company. We have subscribers in over 150 countries, but there are really only 60 people that work for HeinOnline. But you can contact any of us. Email us with your positive feedback. Email us with your ideas. We love to work with librarians and users of HeinOnline and faculty members and attorneys, etc. We love that. We love feedback. Some of our best ideas have come from feedback from webinars just like this one. We have a knowledge base where you can ask it anything from questions about accessibility to the downloading guidelines to, this is one of the places where our various videos are. You can also go to, if you Google YouTube and HeinOnline, you can also get a whole slew of impressive and helpful videos to use in all different aspects of HeinOnline, whether it's finding a case, finding a certain article, using our user guide, etc. Here's our HeinOnline blog. This is all important. I recommend everyone sign up for this free blog. It's multidisciplinary. It allows you to search how to use HeinOnline by certain topics. It makes it relevant from using HeinOnline for everything from current events to using the serial set to researching certain things like the American Civil War, or to research any topic in American history, or even concepts that are related to popular culture. Do not hesitate to think of HeinOnline as your source for being able to research things. And the blog is a way that we show you how to use HeinOnline to research history, human rights, international relations, and law. And also, we tell you what journals we add in a given month. We're always updating new features, and we want you to know about it. Well, we've just hit the 2:30 mark. We're going to leave a few more seconds to send some more questions. If there are any questions, I'm sure Roxanne's been answering the questions.
We actually haven't had any questions yet, but the question and answer should be working. I'm not sure if the chat works for everybody. So if you do have any questions, please use the question and answer.
We love questions. No question is too basic, and no question is too complex. Although if
great question, I had a great question. Can I share this with faculty members? Absolutely. We're going to share the recording we'll email everyone the recording after the session. So please share it with all faculty, colleagues, students, anyone that you think it would be useful for.
And don't forget, I think I emphasize it, but the LibGuides. If you subscribe to HeinOnline and you want to use LibGuides for your firm, for your library, for your students, we created these LibGuides for you to be able to use them. We want you to get the most value out of this database. There are often things, there's a lot here. There are things you probably use every day, and there are things you haven't thought of using. We want you to use the LibGuide to really find out all the unique things about HeinOnline. So you can use it, you can post it. If you have additional concepts for LibGuide. I know earlier today, someone asked us if we could do a LibGuide on Jim Crow. So we're going to see, I'm going to check with the product development people about that. So there's lots of different things. So all your ideas are welcome. Yes, the Social Justice Suite is open to any library, not just academic libraries. In fact, so if you're interested in, regardless of what type of library you're at, public library, etc., just let us know and we can activate it for you. If you could subscribe to one of our core subscriptions, such as Academic Core or the US Core that law firms subscribe to, or even International Core, any of those core subscriptions, you're automatically going to get the Social Justice Suite with it. So you already have access to it. We do have books regarding the topic of slavery in the courtroom. I don't have time to specifically check if we've added this particular collection, but I think I can, this particular book to the collection, but I can check after we get off to see if it's on there. But thank you for putting it on our radar if it is not yet on there. So thank you. Any other questions? I think you've asked great questions and we have appreciated your attendance. As Roxanne said, we will be sending you the recordings, all the folks who attended, I think all the people who registered actually as well, who didn't attend. And we're looking forward to seeing you next month. We really like touching base with you guys on a monthly basis with Forum. The attendance has been continuously high level, and we enjoy doing it. So just keep it up, keep attending, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much. I am signing off now.